Oats can become your worst enemy. Discover the 7 mistakes that turn this superfood into poison. You've probably been told, oatmeal is one of the healthiest ways to start your day. And it can be. But if you prepare it the wrong way, it might be silently damaging your gut, spiking your blood sugar, and clouding your mind, especially after 60. You think you're doing everything right. But that bloated, tired, foggy feeling after breakfast? That's not aging, it's a warning. The good news? A few simple changes can turn that same bowl into powerful support for your heart, digestion, and energy. Light bulb, and halfway through this video, I'll reveal one overlooked oatmeal habit that could be the reason you've never felt your best after breakfast, until now. Red heart if this sounds helpful, or reminds you of someone you love, tap like, or subscribe. It really helps us reach more seniors who need this. So let's go over the 7 mistakes, and how to fix them. Because your oats should heal you, not hurt you. And once you hear the final tip, you'll never eat them the same way again. Mistake number 1, the invisible danger in every spoonful. Let's start with the first, and perhaps most quietly harmful, mistake of all, trusting the wrong kind of oats. You see, not all oats are created equal. Most people don't realize that conventionally grown oats are often sprayed with a chemical called glyphosate, yes, the same one found in certain weed killers. It's invisible, tasteless, and completely legal in many food products. But over time, especially for seniors with slower detox systems, even trace amounts of these chemicals can quietly accumulate, disrupting your hormones, irritating your gut lining, and increasing your toxic load without you ever noticing. And here's the twist, this happens with the oatmeal you thought was helping you. Organic oats, on the other hand, are grown without synthetic pesticides and harsh fertilizers. They don't just protect your health, they often contain more nutrients, and taste better, too. Yes, they might cost a little more. But when it comes to something you eat daily, and that fuels your heart, brain, and digestion, that small difference can mean everything. Right arrow. And if you think switching to organic is enough, just wait until you see what most people do next that completely cancels out the benefits. Let's look at mistake #2. Mistake number 2, sweetening it the wrong way. You're trying to be healthy, but let's be honest, plain oats can taste a little boring. So many people reach for that quick fix, brown sugar, flavored syrups, or even artificial sweeteners. But here's the trap. Every spoonful of added sugar spikes your blood sugar levels, triggers inflammation, and sends your metabolism into chaos. And artificial sweeteners? They may seem harmless, but studies show they can confuse your gut bacteria, slow digestion, and even increase sugar cravings long-term. That healthy breakfast suddenly turns into a sweet bomb your body wasn't ready for. Here's a better way, add real, whole ingredients that your body understands. Try mashed banana, chopped dates, or a sprinkle of cinnamon. Even a drizzle of raw honey or pure maple syrup, in moderation, can bring out natural sweetness without wrecking your blood sugar. Your taste buds will adjust. And more importantly, your gut will thank you. Right arrow. But even if you've nailed your ingredients, there's another mistake, one that quietly strips away the very nutrients you think you're getting. Let's move on to mistake #3. Mistake number 3, eating oats raw and dry. Raw oats may seem convenient, no cooking, no fuss. But if you're pouring dry oats straight into yogurt or a smoothie without soaking, you might be missing out on critical nutrients. Unsoaked oats contain phytic acid, a natural compound that binds to minerals like iron, calcium, and zinc, making them harder for your body to absorb. For seniors, who often struggle with low nutrient absorption already, this can be a serious issue. The solution is simple: soak your oats. Even just a few hours in water, milk, or a plant-based beverage can reduce phytic acid and improve digestibility. Better yet? Soaked oats are gentler on your stomach and keep you full longer. Overnight oats are a perfect fix. Just combine your oats with liquid, cover, and let them sit in the fridge. Come morning, you've got a soft, creamy, nutrient-rich breakfast ready to go. Right arrow, but even perfectly soaked oats can backfire if you ignore what your body needs most to process them. Let's talk about mistake #4. Mistake number 4, skimping on water. Oats are loaded with fiber, and that's great. But fiber without enough fluid? That's a recipe for constipation, bloating, and sluggish digestion. Here's the deal: soluble fiber, like the kind in oats, needs water to form that beneficial gel-like substance that sweeps waste through your system. But when you don't drink enough water, especially as a senior, that same fiber can slow things down instead of speeding them up. Make it a habit to drink a glass of water alongside your oats, and sip throughout the day. Herbal teas and water-rich fruits count, too. Hydrated fiber works wonders. Dehydrated fiber? Not so much. Right arrow. Speaking of slowing down, you might want to check the expiration date on your oats. Mistake number 5 is one most people never think about, until it's too late. Mistake number 5, ignoring freshness and storage. Oats may look dry and durable, but they do go stale. Worse, old oats can attract moisture, grow mold, and even develop invisible toxins. These toxins, called mycotoxins, can upset your digestion, impair liver function, and weaken your immune system over time. Always check the expiration date. And store oats in an airtight container, in a cool, dry place. If they smell odd or have any discoloration, toss them. Also, be careful with bulk oats from bins. They're often exposed to air, heat, and light, which speeds up spoilage. Fresh oats are potent. Stale oats? Not worth the risk. Right arrow. But even the freshest oats can become a problem when paired with the wrong ingredients. Let's take a look at mistake #6. Mistake number 6, mixing oats with processed toppings. So you've chosen organic oats, sweetened them naturally, soaked them, and stored them right. Great. But then you top them with chocolate chips, flavored yogurt, sugary granola, or even whipped cream? It's easy to ruin a good thing. Highly processed toppings contain added sugars, preservatives, trans fats, and artificial additives that inflame your gut and throw off your metabolism. Instead, stick to whole food toppings, berries, chia seeds, nuts, a spoonful of nut butter, or plain Greek yogurt. These not only boost flavor and texture, they enhance the nutritional value of your meal. Right arrow. And now, the final mistake, the one that undoes everything, even when you do all the rest right. Let's wrap it up with mistake #7. Mistake number 7, overcooking your oats. Yes, even cooking can be a problem. When oats are cooked for too long or at high heat, they lose some of their most valuable nutrients, especially B vitamins and antioxidants like avenanthramides, which support heart and brain health. Plus, overcooked oats can become mushy and less satisfying, making you more likely to skip them entirely. Keep it simple, gentle simmer, short cook time. Or go with overnight oats and avoid heat altogether. Preserve the nutrients. Protect the texture. Respect the oat. Final thoughts, from common mistakes to daily healing. Oats are not the enemy. But how you prepare them can make all the difference. If there's one key takeaway from everything you've just seen, it's this: even the healthiest foods can work against you when prepared or combined the wrong way, especially as we age. So here are a few lessons to take with you. White heavy checkmark: always choose the cleanest ingredients you can, organic oats if possible, stored well and used fresh. White heavy checkmark: sweeten naturally, or retrain your taste buds with fruit and spices instead of sugar or artificial sweeteners. White heavy checkmark: soak your oats. Give your digestion and your body the help it needs to absorb every bit of goodness. White heavy checkmark: never forget hydration. Water isn't just a drink, it's a nutrient, especially when fiber is involved. White heavy checkmark: and above all, keep it simple. Food made right doesn't need to be fancy, it just needs to serve your health, not hurt it. You don't need to overhaul everything at once. Start small. Pick just one of the mistakes we covered today, and fix it tomorrow. Then watch what happens. Because when you treat food like medicine, it rewards you, quietly, gently, and powerfully. Red heart if this video helped you, or if you learned even one useful thing, please support our mission at Senior Health Tips. Give it a thumbs up, share it with someone you love, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a simple, life-changing health tip. Thank you for watching. Here's to clearer mornings, stronger energy, and a healthier, happier you, starting with just one better bowl of oats.